Hey guys, how's it going? Today I kind of wanted to talk about Season 8 of Overwatch and why I feel like it's just an absolute shit show, currently. So to start, I think the only way to really start actually is just with Mauga. He is just so broken. I mean, there's so many videos online just claiming how disgusting he is. And then what's even crazier is I've seen some people recently just go, "Oh, he's not broken." They're just plain wrong. It's not even an opinion. He is a busted hero entirely. Um, and he makes the game feel so unfun and unfair. Like he's literally pay to win. And I don't even know how that's acceptable in Overwatch competitive shooter. That used to never have this in Overwatch 1, first of all. I mean it's a true shame what is happening right now. And the refusal to nerf him currently. I know they're on break and they deserve that break, but man, I don't know. I feel like he should just be like stopped from playing right now. I really don't care that he's in the battle pass, and I don't care that they have to sell battle pass. I care that he's ruining the integrity of the game. Um, the next thing with him too is if you don't mirror him, you just lose. Playing him, in my opinion, is not fun. Some people think he's fun because he's broken, right? But I just, oh, he's so disgustingly broken. It makes me so mad. Um, and that's going into like playing damage is just so unfun too with him, especially like I don't know who to go to even touch him. Like you can't hurt him. Maybe you dive his supports and he dies, but even then, it's it just feels so unfun, right? I mean, especially for people that don't have the battle pass, it's just ridiculous, truly. Um, and then moving into my next major issue is kind of the supports. I don't think they're as busted like people still believe. I think they are still very strong. It's really, really upsetting to play a damage hero and just have a Kiriko TP out. Right, but that is kind of her kit. And I'm a little biased because I play Kiriko, right? But um, my main issue is kind of the anti-nade. I think I don't have been more frustrated with a support character than getting anti-naded as any tank in the game. Even as a damage, like getting anti-naded is so ridiculous, which forces Kiriko to be played, right? Like the season before this, she wasn't played nearly as much. I mean, she was played, sure, but not to the extent that she is now, where she's like has to be picked every game, especially if there's a Mauga and they have an Anna, right? So it kind of forces this support meta where people are forced to play on a Kiriko, which is just kind of unfun. Like it was nice to see a Life Weaver once in a while, but now it feels bad to have anybody besides those two supports. Um, so I think maybe if they look at the nade, something they could do with that. I mean, she is like a fair hero, but it just I don't know. It seems to be making the game very rough to deal with and harder for them to make new characters, right? Like Mauga has to be overloaded because the anti-nade just makes him not playable. Um, moving to damage, I think they're not as strong as they really should be, but they are a little too strong in some areas too, right? The main issues are the one-shotty characters. You're seeing the resurgence of sometimes people are playing Widow now. A lot of Sojourn still. It is what it is with the Sojourn and Widows, right? Like you have to be good to play them. But man, is it frustrating to just get railed every 10 seconds and get sniped every 10 seconds while trying to deal with a Mauga, while trying to avoid the anti-nade. There's just too much stuff, and nothing dies if it's not a one shot too, which is even more frustrating, right? Playing somebody like Soldier is fine, but if you can't get the one shot and you get one shot, then you're kind of screwed over. Um, and that's just so very, very annoying to deal with, and it's making like I haven't seen the community this toxic in a long time. It's really like as bad as the double shield meta in my opinion. Maybe worse. Like at least I could stand behind a shield in that meta. Now I'm just getting insta blown up by Mauga, Widowmaker, Sojourn, Hanzo, right? Anti-nated, slapped every 10 seconds. I am glad with the change to swapping, right? With the I think it's 20% now when you swap. Maybe if they move that down to 15, it would be a little better. I don't like the idea that they were thinking of with like a token system for swapping. I think that's ridiculous. I don't want to play League where I have to stay on one character the whole game. I think it's really annoying. But I was intrigued by their idea for the hero banning system because I think that could really shape shape up the game. Because like if you see pro play, they run the same comps over and over, and that's always been Overwatch's issue. Um, and that's I'm on an esports team, and we run the same comps that pro players do, and that's so annoying because I don't like I don't like mirroring comp. I like the diversity of the game, so I like swapping. I like having maybe this character does better into their comp, but that comp is so disgustingly broken right now that that character doesn't even matter even though they're good into it, right? Um, so having that swap is nice, but if you can't do anything, it's not doesn't matter. But having that hero banning system where maybe I could ban the Ana if I'm somebody that just can't deal with a nade. Um, you know, people that just play ball might have to learn another tank. People that just play two might have to learn another tank, and they kind of do. If you're good enough at ball, you probably could play another tank anyway. But having the ability to get somebody out of the game that you really can't deal with, like for example, I would probably always ban Widow or Ana. Ana just because the nade's really strong, but I do like Ana's on my team, so if I was able to ban Widow every game, I'd be having the best time ever because I cannot deal with that hero. I hate them. Um, and I think she's so broken all the time. I can't stand the one shots. And I love it's the same thing that they did with the we don't want swaps and the this game's not about counter swaps anymore, even though it's a blatant lie when the game first came out, right? Overwatch 2. But they also are like, oh, let's get rid of one shots. Let's get rid of one shots. And now the whole meta is one shots and mass sustain and swapping all the time, unless you're playing Mauga. And that's even more annoying. They just keep pushing the boundary of their lies. It's crazy. I don't understand how they develop a game for this long and don't understand very obvious hero balance. It's very clear when a character is disgustingly broken, but they want to sell battle pass sales, or Ana's clearly had an issue for a little bit, and it's not that she's broken per se, but it's just the nade makes the game a lot worse, kinda. I don't know what they could give her because the nade is like really nice to have, but they have to look at it. Same with Rez. Mercy's not broken by any means. She's very annoying to deal with a lot of the time, but Rez is just another annoying thing that they could probably remove and put something better in, or tone in a different way. Because if a Mercy reses somebody off the map and then could fly back up without getting punished, that's very upsetting. And that does require the Mercy to be good, of course, But it's just these abilities that force the game into a really odd state. I don't think Mercy's like a big issue in that regard. But for example, the anti-nade, you can't play Hog unless you have a Kiriko then. So, I mean, it's nice to have the hero swaps, and it's cool to have counters, but it's also very upsetting to have to change who you want to play to deal with a single character's ability that they could just throw on you. I don't know. That's just my thoughts on that. I also don't really like the new modes they're adding. Flashpoint's really terrible in my opinion. I fucking hate Flashpoint. It's a little better than Push. I think Push is a lot worse because it's not as long as it used to be, but man, is it very upsetting to just sit there the whole time pushing cart forward and back, and then nothing happens all game until the last second where they pop every ult and you lose the game. Or you could do that to them, and that's not fun for either team, in my opinion. And those maps are dominated by, again, Widowmakers, by Sojourns, Ashes, Pharah's good on some of those maps too. And those are all characters that just really piss people off a lot of the time. Flashpoint's a map that did shape some stuff up, because you have to pick like a little bit faster characters, you have to hold a point, but I feel like in that map, it's whoever touches point first kind of wins. It's so ridiculously hard. You get like 2 or 3 team fights in and the point's gone. I understand it's supposed to be a fast mode like that, but man, it is so annoying to run against like a Sim and Bash or something stupid like that. Super cheese comps to just hold on point and don't die, and then there's nothing you could do except get on point before them. I don't know, man. Hopefully the new modes are a little better. I think balancing just needs to really like shape up next time. They're doing all these really tiny patches and not shaping stuff up. The last one they did, granted, was decent. It was decently sized, but they randomly nerfed Soldier. Like, who was asking for the Soldier nerf, right? Why aren't they doing crazy buffs or something like that? Right? Like give ball, I don't know, give ball super attack speed, something stupid like that. Right? At least that would change something. The meta's barely moved except for Mauga being the most played character now because he's just more broken than insert random brawl tank. They buff Winston, but it doesn't matter because they also just released Mauga. It's these stupid things that they're doing, right? And then the Winston's probably going to be overtuned when Mauga's nerfed, so he's going to be played everywhere again. So I don't understand. I don't like them just making metas because they think, oh, let's just make a meta and shape it up like that, instead of actually trying to change stuff meaningfully to make the game more fun, instead of just being like, oh, this is the flavor of the month this time. Everybody's running Sojourn today. This season we're going to do Widow Sojourn, right? I just hate that, man. So those are my thoughts on Season 8. I mean, kind of on Overwatch in general. Hopefully in the future, they kind of could change these things. We'll see. I mean, I have high hopes. I still like the game, but the game also just pisses me off a lot of the time. And that's why I'm not even playing Season 8 currently. I did my rankings, got frustrated after a while, and I just don't feel the need to play it. It's just been a very bad state. If you want to stay away from ranked, that's what a lot of people are doing. It's also what I'm doing. But if you're having a good time, good for you. But I think they really need to change some stuff around, or else the game is gonna have a really rough time. So that's about it. See ya.